Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of A Closer Look. Up first, the Nadzab Tomodachi International Airport most recently witnessed the official opening of its terminal building, which was constructed at the cost of 692 million kina and funded by the PNG government and Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA. The project is part of the National Airports Corporation business strategy to partner with strategic stakeholders, including provincial governments, to achieve 15 smart airports by 2030 in order to drive the national government's aspirations for increased accessibility, economic growth, and development. Reporter Amanda Elaitia brings to you this story.
The redevelopment of Nadzab Airport is to handle and cater for the growing demand for cargo and passenger movements in the Momase and Highlands regions, triggered by increasing economic activities. On Monday, the 2nd of October 2023, the people of Morobe province turned up in numbers to witness the milestone opening of the country's second biggest gateway to the world-class Nadzab Tomodachi International Airport. Nadzab Airport is located approximately 35 kilometers to the northwest of Lae City in Morobe province. The Nadzab Airport handles the second largest air passenger traffic and cargoes after Port Moresby's Jackson's International Airport. Nadzab Airport was redeveloped by Australia in the early to mid-1970s as part of an independence gift from Australia to PNG, which became independent in September 1975. The Australian Department of Housing and Construction and Department of Civil Aviation undertook the work. Specialized airport lighting was installed by DCA engineers Byron Sullivan and Frank Martinelli. The airport in Lae was operating at the same time as Nadzab, but business was significantly lost when the new airport complex became fully operational in 1977. Fierce political squabbling over the pros and cons of Lae and Nadzab continued until 1982, when in an unsolved mystery, the Lae Airport terminal was burnt down. Lae Airfield continued to be used by Air Niugini and other third-level airlines until 1987. It was also used as the base for the Papua New Guinea Defence Force until it was transferred to Port Moresby in 1992.
Let me explain him. This is the name to Nadzab means the acronym Northern Australian Defence Zone Air Base. That means Nadzab. You know, talk plus name, name or give him this Nadzab. Northern Australian Defence Force Air Base. Tomodachi meaning friendship. So you may turn him go English, but I'll call him this airport, Northern Australian Defence Zone Air Base Friendship Airport. Serving as a vital hub for domestic and international travel, today we mark a new chapter in its legacy with the unveiling of a state-of-the-art international terminal, a terminal that we have waited ages and ages for. I would like to say thank you on behalf of the people of Morobe province, on behalf of my governor, on behalf of all the members of parliament from Morobe. Big plug thank you through Japan. Miletok thank you through la give me play this good plus something through. Big plug thank you through.
Prime Minister James Marape, Japanese Foreign Affairs Minister Iwaho Hori, Japanese Ambassador to Papua New Guinea, His Excellency Nobuyuki Watanabe, government officials from both countries, and important stakeholders were present to witness this momentous occasion. The redeveloped and renamed Nadzab Tomodachi International Airport is a portrayal of PNG and Japanese governments' unwavering partnership. Many shared the sentiments that it will be a new economic hub for Papua New Guinea.
And from our front, I want to announce that this will be our country's second international gateway in as far as flight is concerned. We have inbuilt facilities to cater for international flights to be landed here in Nadzab, Tomadasi International Airport, and to cater for the use in this part of our country and the regions that it will service, as well as international. And I want to ask the Honorable Minister, our chief guest, Minister Horison, as you go back to Japan, I want to stitch an appointment with you and the Japanese government and the Japanese business. This airport must carry fish and travelers, tuna and fisheries produce and agricultural produce from Papua New Guinea to Narita or an airport that you will choose for us.
A day before its opening, aggrieved Oragnaron Incorporated Land Group of Gapsonke Village petitioned the government for their outstanding lease payments. The NAC Chief Operating Officer in Ley settled the matter by way of appreciating the landowners through presentation of goods, a cow and 5,000 kina cash. Meanwhile, during the opening, Deputy Prime Minister and Ley Open MP John Rosso affirmed that moving forward, he would be working along with the landowners to settle these outstanding issues.
Government makim lo talk thank you. Lo foresight lo tumuna lo yumi lo give him this la ground. Na me repeat him again. Me ba walk close to one time you pla. O se member blo lay na Deputy Prime Minister lo yumi try and fix him all issues blo ground yumi sna antap lo ngam. So me talk thank you lo this la.
The Minister for Civil Aviation, Walter Schnaubelt, highlighted the importance of collective collaboration.
Now you me one time, look out in Butisla Airport. You got half you, government got half in, the management company, National Airport Corporation, got half in. Na time me blol get I walk, hold him hand, I walk boom one time. Airport here by stop long bla time, condition belong in by stop long bla time.
Representing the Japanese Prime Minister and government was the Japanese Foreign Affairs Minister Iwaho Hori. He stressed on the purpose this airport will serve.
Improving connectivity of Papua New Guinea with this airport is extremely important from the perspective of realizing a free and open Indo-Pacific based on the rule of law. In this regard, as a keystone of the region and with strong bonds with Japan, the role of Papua New Guinea is expected to play is significant, and Japan would like to support Papua New Guinea in various ways. The 10th Pacific Island Forum Summit will be held next year. In 2025, we will celebrate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Japan and Papua New Guinea.
After formalities, there was the unveiling of a plaque, a ribbon-cutting ceremony, dedication of the terminal, the Japanese traditional sake barrel, and finally a brief tour of the new state-of-the-art terminal building to end the program. The Nadzab Tomodachi International Airport will now accommodate large wide-body jet aircrafts and will improve facilitation of air transportation and contribute to the economic growth of Papua New Guinea.
After the break, we take an in-depth look at an assessment conducted by the Asia-Pacific Group on Money Laundering in Papua New Guinea. Welcome back to a closer look. As a condition of membership of the Asia-Pacific Group on Money Laundering, PNG is undergoing a peer review process, commonly known as mutual evaluation, to determine its compliance with the International Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorist Financing. The assessment that commenced on the 2nd and will end on the 13th of this month is being conducted by a team of experts within the Asia-Pacific Group on Money Laundering in Port Moresby. For PNG, this assessment had commenced in March this year and is the second review for the country. Let us find out what this means for Papua New Guinea as a country. Since its establishment in 1997, the Asia-Pacific Group on Money Laundering, or APG, has been growing in membership. From its original 13 founding member jurisdiction, it now consists of 42 members, making it the largest financial action task force-style regional body in the world, one of which Papua New Guinea is a member of. On joining the APG, members commit to a mutual peer review system to determine the levels of compliance with the International Anti-Money Laundering and Countering Financing of Terrorism standards.
So people will be wondering, why are we doing this? Well, the country, we've signed up to that APG accord, and we are required by the international bodies to comply with this requirements on anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing. And so the review is basically coming back to see what we've done in the last ME, the laws, the acts that we have put in place. We've basically met all the technical requirements. This time around is coming to look at the effectiveness of that. So it's critical. This review is critical. We want to show the APG that it's effective. We set out to do what we achieved, we said we were going to do. So from that perspective, this mutual evaluation is critical and it's important.
A mutual evaluation involves a team of experts drawn together from APG member jurisdictions, specifically trained and qualified in the Financial Action Task Force's assessment methodology. The team consists of legal experts, financial and regulatory experts, and law enforcement experts. The APG is currently in its third round of evaluations, having previously conducted 2 rounds since 1997. The third round commenced in 2014 under the Financial Action Task Force's revised 2012 standards and the 2013 methodology. The third round includes 2 components as follows. Technical compliance. A desk-based technical compliance analysis assesses compliance by an APG member with the specific requirements of each of the 40 Financial Action Task Force's recommendations. The technical compliance analysis is undertaken by an assessment team prior to an on-site visit of the member being evaluated. The second component being effectiveness analysis. An effectiveness analysis assesses the extent to which an APG member achieves a defined set of outcomes that are central to a proper functioning and effective anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism system, with expected results based on the money laundering and terrorism financing risk profile of that jurisdiction. The effectiveness analysis is not just based on information exchanged with the assessment team. After the information is exchanged, the team will visit the member under evaluation, usually for 2 weeks, sometimes longer, and interview government and private sector officials to gain a comprehensive understanding of how the system is working. Private sector participation is central to gaining this understanding. During the 2 weeks in Port Moresby, the assessment team will have around 70 meetings with public and private sector entities to gain comprehensive understanding of how PNG's anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing regime works effectively in practice. Following a similar review in 2011, the PNG government's implementation of the standard recommendations was found to be non-compliant with 14 of the recommendations. As a result of these deficiencies, PNG was grey-listed by the Financial Action Task Force and APG in February 2014, which means that PNG was under increased monitoring by the Financial Action Task Force. A country coming into the grey list faces severe problems like a lack of trade opportunities, a downgrade of ratings, and a shrinking economy. It also affects the potential borrowings from the IMF and other global bodies. Following this grey listing, the PNG government was required to sign up to a public action plan and was given 18 months to rectify the deficiencies. Failure to do so would have resulted in PNG being blacklisted. Now, when a country is placed on the Financial Action Task Force blacklist, it is subject to economic sanctions by member countries. Such would have been devastating for any developing country. Hence, before it got to that, the PNG government took significant and high-level commitment to address being grey-listed. The PNG government took significant high-level commitment to address this before it got to that.
The country is not an island on its own. If we want our financial system to be effective, we're operating in a world that the rest of the world want to see how our financial system is effective. And it is through this mutual evaluation, exercise and process that gives that credibility for the Papua New Guinea's financial system.
Ensuring that Papua New Guinea is prepared for this peer review was the Secretary for Justice and Attorney General, Dr. Eric Kwa, who assured the country that a national coordinating team had been in place and preparing for the APG's mutual assessment.
There is a coordinating committee in place that's been in operation since 2015. So the Bank of Papua New Guinea and the Department of Justice co-chair the National Coordinating Committee. And what we have been doing on a regular basis since 2015 is to just monitor what our agencies have been doing. Those are basically the compliance agencies, those agencies who deal with money. And so we've had regular meetings over the years in preparation for this particular event that is happening today. Because of our first evaluation, this time we are ready. And we were familiar with the kinds of questions that our international evaluators are asking, and we know what kind of answers that we need to give. And so we are very much prepared in terms of us dealing with the mutual evaluation team at the moment.
The assessment will continue to July of next year, where PNG's mutual evaluation report will be presented to all Asia-Pacific member countries. Don't go away. When we return, we place a spotlight on the International Training Institute, an educational institution that has been contributing immensely in the development of our human resource. You're watching A Closer Look. Since the establishment of the International Training Institute in 1999, the institution started off with few business courses, providing on-the-job training skills that were needed. With high demand in various business career pathways, ITI took the opportunity and started providing courses that were needed, and slowly, from strength to strength, the institution started to expand, moving to 4 Mile Tabari to now Koki ITI in Port Moresby. Today, the school is very successful, providing high-quality education to Papua New Guineans who have become successful, where most of the students that graduated from ITI now hold higher positions in both the government and private sectors.
Today, the school is very successful after 25 years of providing high-quality education and practical learning skills to Papua New Guineans who have become successful in the International Training Institute, where most of the students that graduate from ITI now hold higher positions in both the government and private sectors. But how did the institution come about to where it is today? The Education of Institution International Training Institute was established in 1999, where it started off with few business courses and 20 students while providing on-job training skills that were needed. With high demand in various business career pathways, ITI took the opportunity and started providing courses that were needed, and slowly from strength to strength, the institution started to expand, moving from 4 Mile Orilavi to now Badili ITI in Port Moresby.
I mean, if you're looking at Papua New Guinea, it's a young nation. So you need education. So we are there to provide as one of the providers to build education, for them to also start working as well, all different levels. So our aim is to try to build as quality education. So, and also to the extent relevant to the environment as well. So they should be able to work. In a lot of things, like we have the OJT section. So basically we're doing we're going to do mock interviews for students. So because the hardest part for a student is from getting to studying to how to go for an interview. So those things we are improving. So all different levels we are trying to improve. So those type of things. So end of the day we want to give as much as possible for our students to gain. Because a lot of students are not just work. There's a lot of our students actually have their own businesses. So we should encourage both ways. More businesses, more people are employed as well. So whichever they want to carry on the avenue, they can do that. So basically, we're just giving the skills for them. Ultimately, it's up to the students. We can always teach it, but we encourage them to do something with that. But far as we know, a lot of the places a lot of people who taken our students, they're very happy with it, happy with our students, and so we want to make sure that employers are happy with with the products we are producing, So for the students and for us. So students as well is good for us. So students get employment, or they're starting their own business, and they're happy with everything. That's good. That's a plus point for us. That's a confidence. It'll come back to us to build up for the future.
With a total of 8 campuses, the International Training Institute has developed many Papua New Guineans according to the market demand.
So basically, we're looking at the current market. We found there was not many institutions catering for the average person. Usually it was more for corporates, not for the average person. So that's the reason we started ITI. So we took a risk of, getting for the average person, providing good quality at affordable prices. That's how we started it. So we started Orilavi House in March 1999. We only had 2 rooms actually. One room was about 7 computers and an office room. That's it at Orilavi House. So from there we had about 20 students. From there we started developing and gradually getting more programs in. This thing. We started certificate, then we started with diploma programs. So over time, then we moved to Badili. And from then we've been here. We then started Lay campus, and end of the day now, currently we have altogether about 8 campuses or centers and campuses. This thing. So we are pretty widespread. We got north, south, west, east of Papua New Guinea, all the campuses. So so that's how we built up, and obviously one of our focus was always early on was providing 1 person per 1 computer. Those days, most other institutions usually had 1 person sitting on 2 or 3. Sorry, 1 computer, you had 2 or 3 people sitting on there. So we always started from day 1 person, 1 computer. Then also we started doing night classes for our students. So from almost the first, second or third year, we already started night classes. So people who can't make it doing full time, or they're working, so they can come in night time and have attend the class.
The institution offers a variety of courses to students, including accounting, HR, IT, business management and others, while providing on-job training to providing employment for its students. ITI over the years has provided free scholarship to top-performing students in where they are given the opportunity to study at ITI after year 12. This is part of ITI's community engagement to giving students an opportunity in education. A pioneer student of ITI since the establishment of the institution is Elizabeth Lona, who has studied at ITI to being employed at ITI and how she gives back to ITI. She says ITI plays an integral role in educating the next generation of Papua New Guineans, providing various types of courses to cater to the market.
I did my certificate program with ITI, then I proceeded into diploma. While employed, I took up my studies with ITI as well. Then I resigned and I went back, and I came back, did my diploma in accounting year in 2014. While being employed, I also took up after-hour classes. And then after 2014 and 2016, I also did my advanced accounting. Also, while working with ITI, I also took up the advanced accounting. Then in 2020, I took up diploma in human resource. And then after that is also after working, also I took up diploma in human resource. In 2021, I was accepted to UPNG to do my degree in HR, which I just got my 2 years degree with UPNG and graduated this year in April 2021.
ITI not only provide top quality education to Papua New Guineans, to providing on-job training, work experience across all its 8 campuses in the country. From providing certificate and diploma courses, ITI has also partnered with internationally recognized universities in Australia, where students are also given the opportunity to study degree programs in Australia.
We just calculated, since we started, that was probably in 2011 or something, we have given for 700 people scholarships. So far we're 2 million kina. Last year we gave 300,000. This year we're increasing for next year to 350,000. So this is part of our community service, giving back to the community. So that's one of the things, and we also have contribute for cricket. For volleyball, in fact we're having a volleyball competition. We just had a village-based one. We just distributed them the balls and the nets. We have next month is going to be the actual volleyball competition. This thing. So like that for soccer, we have done for many other sports. We are given in tennis. We have tennis competitions as well. So basically, just giving the youths back, back to them, like to take part in,
From being a pioneer student to a full-time staff of ITI, Lona believes that providing quality education to students is very important for the human resource development in the country. She says watching students every year graduate with flying colors always makes her proud to see her students, especially when she has over the years crossed paths with students of ITI who now hold various positions in both private and the public sectors.
Getting along with students and being around with students, I like the atmosphere of ITI because I've been so much with students physically, and I also encourage them. I'm so proud to see my students after going through. I've interviewed so many students, like they've been going through some struggle stages, but when it comes to the completion of the studies, I've seen that students have succeeded after completing studies and they get job, and that's why I get proud of ITI's product that we offer, because it gives them the second chance. After we getting into university, still we come back to work for ITI. Still we are here to work, to earn a living for ourselves. But after all, seeing the students been struggled through, though they haven't make it into their formal education, but when we've offered these courses, like they go out into workforce and then they can earn their living. So when I know that students have been employed, and when they come with uniform, I ask them, like, oh, you are working, so I'm so proud to see you coming with a uniform. That's the advice I encourage them. So I like ITI because when I see students going into field and they work and they come back, I'm so proud to see my product, outcome of my product and my service to them.
Moving forward for ITI, the institution is looking to work closely with the Department of Higher Education to better improve its services. ITI will soon tap into providing other courses as well as tourism and hospitality.
And that's all we have for you on tonight's episode. Join us same time next week for another Closer Look episode. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Goodbye.